Okay, boys, take it easy, take it easy. Now we're ready to start. Sorry, folks. I'll be right with you.
Welcome to the Disney Scrapbook, where together we take a journey to explore Disney history from 50 years ago. My name is Nolan. This is part 2 of my exploration of the original soundtrack from Walt Disney World's Country Bear Jamboree LP. They promoted the newly opened Country Bear Jamboree Attraction at both Walt Disney World in Florida and Disneyland in California. For those of you that bared with me for part 1, we left off as the Sun Bonnets were about to appear on stage.
The Sun Bonnets, Bunny, Bubbles, and Beulah, are the babies of the Country Bear Jamboree. They began singing in public school 821 in Clinton, Texas, in Miss Grizzly's class. From there, they appeared 5 weeks running on Major Bear's Amateur Hour and were booked into Walt Disney World. Backstage, they study their lessons. All the cast helps them with their homework, but they get good grades anyway. In their spare time, they are all knitting a scarf for Big Albert, which they hope to have finished for Christmas, 3 years from now.
The risque song that the Sun Bonnets sing, All the Guys That Turn Me On, Turn Me Down, was written by Plott and Howell Powell. Bunny is voiced by country singer Jackie Ward, better known as Robin Wood, and for voicing Cindy Bear in Hey There, Yogi Bear. Studio actress and vocalist Lily Jean Norman voices Bubbles. She is best known for singing the theme song to the original Star Trek television series. Beulah is voiced by Peggy Clark, one of the Clark sisters who sang with the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra, along with providing backing vocals for other top singers of the 1940s and 50s. Additionally, the sisters sang the original soundtrack for the Tiki Room attraction at Disneyland. The composer of the song that the Sun Bonnets sing, Howell Powell, was a successful lawyer who wrote songs with his friend Sherman Eugene Plott as a hobby. He recalls that he was asleep in the middle of the night when he received a call from his country music friend Ronnie Stoneman, who told him that a man from the soon-to-open Walt Disney World in Florida had come up to her after a performance and wanted to buy a song she had sung. His immediate answer was absolutely yes.
Ernest the Dude is a modern Beau Brummel, the well-dressed bear about town. He carries his wardrobe with him wherever he goes, which is difficult. Not many motorists will pick up a bear hitchhiker with 17 trunks of clothes. He has 30 coats and 40 slacks, some of which fit, 60 shirts, 47 shoes, 20 hats, and a pair and a half of underwear. Each year, when the 10 best dressed are announced, Ernest the Dude is there, wondering why he isn't on the list.
Ernest, voiced by Van Stoneman, sings If You Can't Bite, Don't Growl, by singer-songwriter Tommy Collins, who first recorded this on Columbia Records on November 2nd, 1965.
Teddy Barra was discovered sitting on a soda fountain stool in an ice cream parlor 3 miles from Gentry, Arkansas. From there, her rise in showbiz was meteoric, and the ravishing beauty is known as the Jewel of the Dakotas. Though she has always wanted to perform serious drama, her fans have never let her forget her feather boa and her parasol, both of which have been promised to the Daughters of Benton County Western Museum when they wear out. In Grizzly Hall, she performs her famous Heart We Did All We Could while descending from the ceiling on a swing. She has been called the last of the big-time swingers.
Here, it is Patsy Stoneman who sings country singer-songwriter Ned Miller's 1965 composition. Hart we did all that we could. But this song is best known for the rendition performed by Jean Shepherd in 1967, with her distinctive clear diction, where the song reached number 12 on the Billboard Hot Country Singles list. It's upon hearing Connie Smith talk about and sing the song at the Grand Ole Opry that I recognized from the Country Bear Jamboree. That piqued my interest into researching the origins of the songs and singers that were utilized in the Country Bear Jamboree Attraction.
Big Albert says, I was born in a cave near the Princess Theater in Pocatello, Idaho. There was music in his blood, and he's been playing his guitar since he was a child. It's become more difficult. Big Al has grown, and the guitar hasn't. He loves to sit in front of his cave and sing. He was the first to practice ecology. He didn't litter his cave with tin cans and paper cartons. He ate them. He was resident bard and balladeer in the swamp before Walt Disney World was built, and 3 badgers and an alligator have expressed great joy that he is now singing for people. This is Big Albert's 10th farewell appearance.
As Big Al, Tex Ritter comically and dramatically sings Blood on the Saddle. In 1973, Capitol Records produced a box set of Tex Ritter called An American Legend, where each song was introduced by Tex with a story about the origins of the song. Here, he explains that Blood on the Saddle was written by his old roommate Everett Cheatham from New Mexico, who often worked as a dude wrangler. Cheatham wrote the song in the late 1920s in Arizona, after a boy was injured at a rodeo. Then, Tex continues to say that he gave Disney permission to use the song, after they requested it for a new attraction at Walt Disney World in Florida. He hadn't seen the show, but says,
The only thing that bothers me is I understand that the bear that they have mouthing my voice when it's Blood on the Saddle is not only big and fat, but he's old and gray.
For a finale, Henry and Sammy sing the Ballad of Davy Crockett, and all the bears except for Ernest and Trixie sing Old Slewfoot. This bluegrass song, written by Howard Horsey, is performed by the Stillmans. The Stillmans were a musical family, with Ernest a pioneer of country and western music, and his wife Hattie having 13 children, all of whom played in the band over various periods of time. In this recording, Patsy plays auto harp, Van plays guitar, Ronnie plays banjo, Jimmy plays upright bass, Donna plays mandolin, and Scotty plays the fiddle. The show ends with a lively rendition of George Burns and Tom Adair's specially written composition, Come Again, Come On In, sung by Henry the MC, Sammy the Raccoon Hat, Melvin the Moosehead, played by Bill Lee, Buff, the American Bison Head, voiced by Phil Ravenscroft, and Max the Hung-Up Deer, voiced by Pete Renaday. Phil Ravenscroft and Bill Lee were members of the Mellow Men, and here can be seen performing on the Lawrence Welk Show.
Lawrence, on my extreme right, our baritone, Bill Lee. Next to him, our second tenor, Max Smith. Next to me, our top tenor, Bob Stevens. I'm Phil Ravenscroft, and I sort of carry along on the bottom end.
The Mellow Men sang backup vocals for people like Elvis Presley, Bing Crosby, Peggy Lee, and Doris Day. Bill Lee is best known for providing the singing voice of Roger Radcliffe and 101 Dalmatians. Whereas Disney legend Phil Ravenscroft's unmistakable deep bass voice was often utilized by Disney. He can be heard in numerous Disney attractions such as the Tiki Room, Splash Mountain, Pirates of the Caribbean, and the Haunted Mansion. He lent his voice to Disney films, too numerous to mention. Pete Renaday performed many acting and voice roles for Disney films in the 1970s and 80s, while heading the script morgue at the Disney Studios. He appeared in The $1 Million Duck, which I have previously reviewed, and I will leave a link to that in the description below. At various periods, his voice was lent to numerous Disney attractions, including The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Tomorrowland Transit Authority, and Hall of Presidents.
Yo, come back, you hear?
Spoken in the twangy drawl of Henry, the master of ceremonies, rings down the curtain on this corn-prone extravaganza. It's a slice of nostalgia, as clean and breezy as the wind whispering through a stand of pines in the Blue Ridge Mountains. The voices of Melvin the Moose, Buff the Buffalo, and Max the Stag bid the final farewells from their places on the wall. As Henry would put it, if you haven't seen and heard the Country Bear Jamboree in person, you just ain't lived.
Upon the completion of the Country Bear Jamboree performance, the audience would empty out into the adjacent mile-long bar, greeted by Max, Buff, and Melvin, the animatronic heads on the wall. 3 versions of this banter were recorded that could be controlled by the staff behind the bar, ensuring that guests who lingered in the bar enjoying their snacks would not be subject to the same track each time the theater emptied out. The mile-long bar would eventually be engulfed by other Disney shops and restaurants. The bar was so named for its ingenious mirror gang that created the optical illusion of the bar being a mile long. Side 2 of this record contains the soundtrack to the mile-long bar. It contains 4 traditional American folk songs: Bylum Cabbage Down, Polly Wolly Doodle, Wabash Cannonball, and Red River Valley. Bearless Love was specifically composed for this purpose by George Bruns, and Bangles O' Betsy, a song written by George Bruns and Gil George, that was initially heard in 1954 as an instrumental version on the B-side of the 45 record, The Ballad of Davy Crockett. They were used to promote the 1955 TV miniseries of Davy Crockett. The song was then sung by Fez Parker, accompanied by the Buddy Epson Orchestra on Disneyland's opening day. All of these songs are arranged and performed in a bluegrass style. I love the Country Bear Jamboree Attraction with its contagious energy and humorous puns. The feeling of camaraderie when you sit in the attraction and everybody sings along is palpable. Hence, I love this LP and am impressed with the level of production that it contains. I highly recommend listening to this LP and taking the time to savor all that is encompassed in the pages of the storybook. This LP is available at Discogs, Amazon, eBay, and your local used record store. You can also hear it on Spotify and iTunes. Thanks for bearing with us to the end. If you enjoy this type of 50th anniversary content, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. The Disney Scrapbook channel will be producing other 50th anniversary content throughout the year that will include reviews of Disney films, LPs, books, and theme park attractions. Thanks everybody for watching. TTFN. Ta-da for now.